ਜੰਬੋ ਟਰੱਕ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੇੜੀ ਸੁੱਟੀ ਹਾਲੀਵੁੱਡ ਜੀ ਦੇਸੀ ਮੁੰਡਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਬਾਲੀਵੁੱਡ ਮਿਊਜ਼ਿਕ ਦੀ ਵੇਵ ਆ ਨਾ ਭਾਲਦੇ ਕੋਫੇ ਵਗਾਉਣਾ ਵੀ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਤੇ ਲਿਰਿਕਸ ਹੈ ਚੰਗੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਸੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਤੋਂ ਨਾ ਢਲਦੇ ਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਬਣਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਕਲਾਉਨ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਬਰਾਉਨ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਆਹ ਦੇਸੀ ਜੇ ਗੀਤਾ ਟਰੈਪ ਜੀ ਬੀਟਾ ਸਿਰ ਕੱਢ ਕੱਢ ਦੇ ਸਪੀਕਰਾਂ 'ਚ ਵੱਜਦੇ ਬਰਾਉਨ ਮੁੰਡੇ
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, very good afternoon to all of you. We'll be starting shortly. We'll be starting shortly.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
ਸਿਰ ਕੱਢ ਗੱਜ ਦੇ ਸਪੀਕਰਾਂ 'ਚ ਵੱਜਦੇ ਬਰਾਉਨ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਬਰਾਉਨ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਦੇਸੀ ਜੇ ਗੀਤਾ ਟਰੈਪ ਜੀ ਬੀਟਾ ਸਿਰ ਕੱਢ
Good afternoon, sir.
ਵੱਜਦੇ ਬਰਾਉਨ ਮੁੰਡੇ
Good afternoon, sir.
ਫੋਟੋ ਤੋਂ ਜੀ ਕਲਾਸ ਪਾਨਾ ਤੋਂ ਮੋਟੇ ਸਟੈਕ ਕਰਦੇ ਨਾ ਗੇਮ ਲੈਕ ਬਰਾਊਨ ਬਰਾਊਨ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਮਾਈਂਡ ਤੇ ਪੀਚ ਹੱਥਾਂ 'ਚ ਰੀਚ ਬੁੱਢੇ ਹੋਇਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਈ ਕੁਝ ਕੀਤਾ ਆ ਟੀਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਆਪਣੀ ਤੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਆ ਕੰਟਰੈਕਟ ਤੇ ਆਪ ਕੀਤੇ ਬ੍ਰੀਚ ਲੱਗੀ ਫੁੱਲ ਮੌਜ ਆ ਸਟਰ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੌਸ
Good afternoon, sir.
Very good afternoon to all of you. So today we'll be discussing about the organizational behavior. Little bit, what is organizational behavior and what is the importance of organizational behavior. So before that, I have just shared you this video link. Have you gone through this video?
Yes. Recording
Yes,
in
sir.
progress.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So what do you understand by this video? What they wanted to tell? What is the major principles of Jeff Bezos? Okay, let me just play this video once more so that those who have not gone through, please go through it once more. Our organizational behavior story, we are going to discuss about the unique 2-pizza rule of Amazon and how it is being utilized by Paytm also. Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos is the world's richest man with an estimated net worth of 190 billion US dollar. During the early days of Amazon, Bezos has introduced a 2-pizza rule, and now a report by Business Insider reveals that it is something Paytm too applies in the organization. The 2-pizza rule was simple. Internal teams in organizations should be small enough so that they can be treated with just 2 pizzas. The idea is to improve efficiency and scalability. It is something that Paytm does as well, according to its Chief Technology Officer, Mr. Dhodi. As per the Business Insider report, Dhodi said about the 2-pizza rule that, in my mind, it is the most efficient organizational design for structuring teams. Paytm generally, as per the report, has 6 to 8 members in a team. Dhodi further said that small teams are more efficient in asserting ownership for particular domains. The 2-pizza rule at Paytm means that teams are single owners of that domain. Nobody else in the organization owns that domain. Dhodi was quoted as saying in the Business Insider report. Bezos had applied the 2-pizza rule initially for the meeting and making them more productive. The more number of people in a meeting is likely to stretch for longer hours and hence reduce efficiency of the people. The Amazon CEO, in fact, once reportedly said that during the entire year, he spends just 6 hours meeting with the big investor of Amazon. As per the Bloomberg Billionaires Index, Bezos' estimated net worth stands at 189 billion USD, and in 2020 it has grown as much as 74.1 billion USD. That's all for today. We'll be coming back shortly with some more interesting. Okay, so what is the basic idea you have understood from this particular video? I mean, what is the basic principles of that which is called two pizza rule? Anything what comes in your mind? Yeah.
Team small.
Short team leads to higher efficiency.
Right. Small team, higher efficiency. Right. Anything else? Definitely easy management. That's true. Anything else? If you can just if you have gone through that particular area of Paytm have given a specific idea. Other than being in the small team, Paytm have given a specific another specific idea. So can you remember what Paytm have told, Mr. Dhodi? Mr. Dhodi have talk about actually single ownership. What do you mean by single ownership? I mean, any idea what comes? This is just a discussion point. We'll be getting into the syllabus. We'll be discussing that. It's just a discussion.
Sole proprietors.
Proprietorship is okay, but there is a company where the people are working in Paytm, and they are talking about single ownership of a particular function. So here we are not talking about proprietorship, because their employees are not the proprietor of the company, but however the concept is single ownership of a particular function. So then what does it mean in this two pizza rule? Actually, in the two pizza rule, basic idea is small team. The idea is if the pizza is having 6 slices, that means two pizza is having 12 slices. So that means the maximum team size should be 12, not more than that. Rather, it is better if we can keep up to 6, so that everybody can have 2 slices. That is the fundamental idea. I mean, maximum 6 to 12, not more than that. But however, Paytm is emphasizing on a different point along with smaller team, that there must be a single ownership of a particular function. Single ownership of a particular function. Now, what do particular function means? In management, probably you have heard about different specialization: HR, marketing, finance, supply chain management, business analytics, operations. All these specializations are called different functional areas. So there may be a marketing team, there may be a finance team, there may be a supply chain management team. Within the marketing, HR, finance, supply chain management, there may be small other teams as well. Like in, say, for example, human resource management, there may be a recruitment team, there may be a training team, there may be a performance appraisal team, there may be an employee relationship management team, there may be a grievance handling team, different kind of teams. Now, the idea of single ownership means, say, for example, we are developing a team and in marketing, there is an area called marketing research. Now, for the marketing research, there are, say, for example, only 4 team members are there. Who are they? Ovijit Shah, Ahmed Kamal Khan, Amit Kumar, and Anjali Tiwari. Now, these 4 members are there in the marketing research team, and Ovijit Shah is the team leader. That means Ovijit Shah is the owner of the team. That means he is the single owner. So if in the company, if any decision needs to be taken related to marketing research, it is Ovijit Shah who is the final authority of the same. Maybe, say, for example, Amit Kumar, or say, for example, or anyone else other than these 4 people. Say, for example, Annesha. Now, Annesha is also having a very good idea about marketing research. But as this, with this two pizza rule of single ownership, only Ovijit Shah is supposed to take decision about the marketing research department or related activities. It is not Onnesha. Maybe Onnesha is the team owner of branding. Now, anything related to branding, the final authority would be Onnesha. Maybe Ornov is also having very good ideas about the branding. He can suggest Onnesha, but Ornov cannot take decision about branding because the owner of the branding department is Onnesha Bhattacharya, because this system will be reducing conflict within the organization. Otherwise, what will happen? Ornov will be telling that, my idea is best, so I am going to implement my idea. Ankita may tell that no, my idea is better, so my idea should be implemented. So what will ultimately happen? That will hamper the overall organization because of this organizational behavior which is negative. So in order to avoid this situation, this two pizza rule can prove to be very, very effective, because the team sizes are small and there is a particular team owner or a single ownership who is supposed to take the ultimate decision. So that is the fundamental concept of the single ownership. Because otherwise, what will happen if everybody is start doing the everything? That may create a chaos in the organization. Okay, that may, if you are not able to control the situation, so that may create the chaos. Okay, so that is the fundamental concept of the single ownership. Any doubt anyone having about the concept of single ownership?
Can you repeat once again?
Same thing as I've told you. In a team, there, like say for example, think about the cricket team. Now the captain is Indian cricket team captain is Virat Kohli. Now he is the ultimate authority of final decision. He would be taking the decision, of course, after discussing with the team, that if I am winning the toss, we are going to field first or we are going to bat first. Okay, who is going to the first bowler, who is going to open, who is going to do the wicket keeping, everything, the final decision needs to be taken by the captain, I mean the owner of the particular team. Similarly, in the corporate, every team must be having a single owner. If it is a marketing team, it is a, again I'm telling you that all the team as per this two pizza rule must be small. But that does not mean we are just talking about this two pizza rule of Amazon CEO who has implemented this at Amazon. And of course, you can see that Amazon is right now the #1 company in the world. So of course, his principle definitely is successful. So that's why we are discussing in our MBA classes. And probably it is a major case study in globally in any MBA colleges in the world. We are discussing that because this is one of the successful principle has been adopted by different companies. So by seeing Amazon, different other companies are also following that, like Paytm that we are discussing. So the idea is that team should be small and there must be a single ownership. That means if in the marketing department, Abhijit Shaha is the owner, so ultimate decision would be taken by Abhijit. Whatever the Abhijit will be taking the decision after discussing with the team member would be the final. Similarly, for the branding department, probably Onnesha is the team owner. Then the Onnesha's final decision would be final. That yes, related to branding, this is the activity we are going to do. Right? Whether the Maggie should be introduced as a 2-minute noodles or Maggie should be introduced as a dinner item, the final decision would be taken by Onnesha because she is the brand owner. I mean the owner of the branding team. Right? Other people can give her suggestion, but ultimate final decision would be taken by Onnesha. So that is the fundamental concept of the ownership. I mean the idea is that one function must be having only one single owner, not multiple owner, because in several other companies, if you are working, this is the ideal situation, and this is the principles followed by Paytm, followed by Amazon. It does not mean all the companies are following these principles. Why we are studying? Because this is one of the accepted and one of the most successful principles followed in different organizations. Whatever the organization which are following these particular principles, they have not regretted. They are telling, yes, it is a very good method. Okay. So it does not mean wherever you will be going in the world, they will be following the same principle. You will be finding that there may be multiple owner of a single team. Okay, multiple owner of a single team. So then, that is their policy. Whether that is successful or not, we need to understand that. But the idea of the single ownership is that every functional area must be having a single owner. That's the idea, right? Any doubt, anyone?
Sir, can you explain the two pizza rule again?
Two pizza rule, as simple. It is very, very simple. Generally, pizza is having, medium size pizza is having 6 slices, right? Are you getting my point? In a pizza, how many slices are there? Maximum? In a medium size pizza? 6 slices, right?
6.
Right. So that's the simple idea. Just order. I mean, Jeff Bezos is telling that in a meeting, generally we are having coffee and snacks and etc. So his principle is very clear that I am going to order only 2 pizza, not more than that. So that means I am having only 12 slices. So I can give or I can treat only 12 people, not more than that. And even if the pizza is really very good, so probably the people will love to take more than 1 slices. So 2 slices per head. So the maximum people I can treat with 2 pizza is 6 people. So according to him, if you are following 2 pizza rule, so then the maximum team member in a team should be 6 to 12, not more than that. Otherwise, if you are increasing the number of team members in a particular team, that will be creating chaos, because different people would be having different opinions, and that will be creating a confusion. So that is the fundamental concept. Keep the team as small as possible, because that will reduce the meeting time also. One of the point, probably if you have noticed, that Jeff Bezos have told that he is spending only 6 hours of meeting in a year. Understand, 365 days and into 24 hours. Out of that, only 6 hours he is investing in meeting, because according to him, the meetings must be very, very productive. For the sake of attending a meeting and conducting a meeting, we are inviting different people and there is no productive output. So that means that is a wastage of time. That is a wastage of time, and that is a perfect example we'll be discussing in some other case study with IBM. IBM was just about to be closed down in 1980s. Okay, so the condition of IBM was very pathetic during that particular period. One of the major reason was this unproductive meeting, because employees were spending 50% of their working hours in a day in meetings which are very unproductive. So then they have identified, one of the CEO was Jestiner. So Jestiner have introduced the concept that no, there is no requirement of attending the meeting unnecessarily. Why all the employees need to attend the meeting? They should concentrate on their work, not in the meeting. Only the people who are necessary for the particular meeting, they will be coming and attending the meeting, and they will be conveying the same thing with their teammates. That's okay. And the meeting duration should be very small. If you are, at IBM at that point of time, it was 4 hours of meeting every day. So which is unnecessary. So that Jeff Bezos have identified and trying to implement from the very beginning, make the team size smaller. And he just gave an example of the 2 pizza means 12 slices. So maximum 12 members, 6 to 12 is sufficient. That's the basic fundamental idea. The smaller the team, the more efficient the team, more productive the team. So that is the fundamental concept of these things, actually, this 2 pizza rule. Along with that single ownership, that is a principles of Paytm. That is, their idea is single ownership. One function would be owned by only one team member. Right? Any doubt, anyone? Yes. There can be team. No. Right. No. Say for example, market. Now marketing is a very vast area. Now in marketing, there are branding, there are sales promotion, there are advertisement, okay, marketing research. There are several activities. For several activities, there may be small team, 4 person or 6 person, 7 person are, they are responsible for branding. Another 7 person is responsible for say for example responsible for advertisement. Another is for public relation. Another is team for pricing, supply chain management, different thing. So the small team can be. Jeff Bezos' idea is create small team, not only one marketing team. One marketing team means there is a huge activity, hundreds and hundreds of people would be there in the team. So conducting a meeting productively is very difficult with 100 plus people. So rather break down the overall activity in the small functional areas and create small teams. So that would be better and much more productive. So that's the idea. Probably sometime back in Indian cricket team also they have thought about, though that was not very much fruitful, that they have thought there would be a bowling captain. There would be a general captain who would be the captain of the overall cricket team. Then there will be a bowling captain. There would be a captain, fielding captain. There would be a captain for the batsman. So they have thought about. But however, all the principles cannot be implemented in all the organization. It is not possible. So that's why the in corporate probably we can implement that. But however, probably the same principles cannot be implemented in a cricket team. So that we need to understand. Wherever what kind of principles can be implemented. So Indian cricket team have tried long back, but probably that has not that proved to be not very effective. So that's why they have withdrawn the process. So that's the idea actually.
Sir, I have a certain problem. Let's say we are reducing meetings to increase production, correct? And in certain organizations, IT sector specifically, people who work with different set of tools and fast growing e-commerce platforms. My question to you is that, sir, what happens when in these processes there are daily updates on a regular basis? Let's say there are 3 to 4 updates on a regular basis, and there's a large set of team members, suppose 90 members. Not 90 members divided in, into different set of teams. So how would you stop the importance of meeting in those organizations to increase production?
Meetings are really very important. That we are not telling that meetings are not important. Meetings are important. We need to identify who are the important member for the meeting. Okay, so that we need to engage them only, because the meeting can be unproductive. In sometime what is happening in a meeting, if there are 50 odd people, so there are only 4 or 5 people who are talking, and the rest of the people are actually spending their time in their phone. Even they are not listening. Okay, in many cases that is happening. So that means those people who are not able to concentrate, there are 2 reasons. Either they don't have to say anything, they are not the right fit for that meeting. Okay, and they are, so that's why they are not working, they are just spending time in the meeting room. So that means that becomes unproductive. So we need to identify who are the people who are necessary for these meetings, and the meetings team member, these principles. Again, I am telling that in every organization, all the principles cannot be implemented. It is not possible. But the best ideas we need to identify. Now, the IT organization or the IT companies you are talking about. Now, I can share my example. When I used to work in those kind, our idea of meeting, whatever your updates and all this kind of things you are talking about, what we used to do every day, or if not possible every day, at least alternative days, we used to conduct a small knowledge sharing session about with the team members. As we are talking about say for example 5 members team or 10 members team, 15 members team, we are sitting together and they are sharing their knowledges among each other. There may be another concept of the body of session in order to knowledge transfer on a one-to-one basis. So that's the different processes that we may adopt to update our team members about different kind of new policies, strategies, knowledge, of meeting, so that the people who are attending the meeting must be having some productive output by attending the meeting. Otherwise, there is no, like say for example, today we are organizing, or we are having this class on organizational behavior, and it is meant for the MBA student. Now, say for example, this link has been shared to a civil engineering student. For civil engineering student, probably this organizational behavior subject is not important, and not as important like the MBA student. So for him to participate in this particular class by avoiding some important core subject of civil engineering would have been unproductive. Are you getting my point?
Yes,
So that is the idea. So being in the organization, we need to identify who should participate in the meeting, who has some contribution to be made in the meeting. So we need to call them only and invite them only and engage them only. That is the idea. So that the people who are not supposed to make any contribution, or who cannot make any contribution in the meeting or the productivity of the meeting, they should be allowed to work, so that we can generate productivity from their work. Because the simple idea is that in an organization, generally generally the people used to work for 8 hours plus 1 hour for break time. So total 9 hours the people used to work. Out of that, from the human resource management point of view, it has been identified the overall productive hours per day per employee is only 4.8 hours to maximum 5 hours. So an employee can productively work for 5 hours only. So out of that 5 hours, if you are taking 2 hours from meeting, so that means that that particular employee will be working only for 3 hours. So that is a problem, right? That is a problem. So that we need to identify. So that is the basic fundamental concept of this thing. So reduce the unproductive meeting hours. So Jeff Bezos have identified, if we can make the scheme small, so definitely the productivity would not be hampered much. So that's the simple idea. But again, these management principles, it is not a physics theory or a chemistry theory that this is going to happen. If you are mixing these two chemicals, this is bound to happen. In the organizational behavior, it is also science, but behavioral science. But you cannot guarantee that if you are implementing two pizza rule, that means a company is going to be a successful like Amazon, overnight. It is not possible, right? It is not possible, because we need to identify the situation, we need to understand the situation and their particular requirement. So based on that, we need to implement these things. Otherwise, there is no requirement of the MBAs or the managers, because the scientific theories are there. Implement this, your productivity will be improved. Implement this, your sales will be increased, your profitability will be increased. It's not there. It is not that easy, right? We need to identify that. So everybody, that Jio has implemented that free of cost telecom services at the beginning, and their strategies clicks. So that ultimately nowadays, right now, we are having only 3 major telecom players. Before Jio, it is near about 9 to 10 telecom players. So that we need to identify that how to survive in the market. That depends on the situation, right? So that's the idea. So all the principles, all the management theories cannot be implemented everywhere directly. So we need to understand, we need to customize that. So based on that, we need to do that. Right? Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Anyone else having any doubt? Any question? Yes. No, generally, yeah, it is a very good question. Actually, that's why the single ownership model. Single ownership model means ultimately that particular person would be answerable. I mean, say for example, it is only a 6-member team, and the team leader is, say for example, Amit Kumar. Now, we will be, if there is a failure, we will be asking Amit only that what happened. I mean, why there is a failure? What goes wrong? So Amit may be telling that one of my team member has not been able to complete the job on time. That's why there is a failure. Now your team member failure is also your failure, because that is the manager's job. Because say for example, if Indian team wins the match, everybody praises the captain. Yes, Kohli is the best captain because he won the match. But vice versa is also true. If he loses, then it's Kohli again, right? I mean, everybody, that particular captain or the owner would be answerable. So being a manager also, so if your team fails, if you are the marketing manager and if your team fails to achieve the marketing target of a particular amount or particular volume, everybody will be asking the manager. Like say for example, if a company does not perform well, everybody will be asking the CEO of the company, not each and every employees why you have failed. Everybody will be asking the CEO that why your company have failed. Your objective was to achieve this particular revenue target, but you have failed. Why? So the stakeholder, the shareholder, everybody will be asking the CEO of the company, right? Because he is the ultimate owner of the overall organization. Okay, so that's the particular idea. Like if you can think about it specifically, it is happening in the football teams. If you can know, especially in Kolkata or West Bengal, or if you can say in India as well, that if of course globally it is also fact that if a team loses, the first attack will be on the coach, even not with the captain of the team. That it is because of the coach the team failed, team loses the match. And in most of the cases, you will be finding if one of the team loses a particular tournament or a particular important match, the coach has to resign because of the social pressure from the fans or from the organizational pressure. The coach has to resign because everybody think that it is because of the coach a football team wins or a football team loses. So that means that is the idea. That is the answer to your question. So you need to identify who is the owner of the team. If there is a mistake in the team, if the mistake in the organization, a team failed, everybody will be pointing their finger to the team owner or the team manager. You are responsible, right? Why you have not, if you can understand one of your team member is not working well, so you could have stopped him or her, change the manpower. Who stops you? Who stops you? Have you ask for additional you can say, the team manager may say that it is actually a work of 10 employees, but I am having only 7 employees, so I'm in a shortage of 3 employees, so that's why there is a failure. So the next question would be, show me the email where you have asked for 3 additional manpower. Have you asked? Can you tell that I have sent the requirement to the HR department and the HR department has not sent me the manpower on time? That's why there is a failure. Then definitely the fault is with the HR department, not your department. But can you show? If you cannot show that, if you have not applied, if you are not asked for your additional manpower, then it is your fault. Why you have not asked? Right? So that's the thing. That's the overall idea actually. So you need, being a manager, one of the principle is you need to understand who can do what. Being a manager, you are not expected you would be able to do everything. It is not possible. But you should know who can do what, right? Who can do what. So that is very important. Like say for example, I can share one of my friends example who is after completing his MBA, he got a job in a particular company where his employees were statisticians. Either MSc statistics or PhD holder in statistics, and there are about 100 plus employees. And he has studied statistics only as a subject during his MBA. So definitely all the people, all the employees who are working under him are much more knowledgeable than him as far as statistics is concerned. But being a manager, you are not supposed to work as a statistician, because that's why you have not been hired for. You have been hired as a manager. So you must be able to complete the job by your employees, so that you must be knowing the competencies and the skill set of all of your employees, so that whenever the project will be coming, you can assign the project accordingly. So being a manager, your job is to get the job done by others. In many cases, you will not be able to. Managers are not supposed to work on a day-to-day job, because if you are involving yourself much more on the day-to-day job, you will not be able to manage your people. right? So that's the idea. So get the job done by other team members is your key responsibility as a manager, irrespective of the department. It may be HR, marketing, finance, system, anything. So being a manager, your job is to get the job done. And definitely you have to do some activities as well, day-to-day activities, but that should be 10%, 20%. So 80% of the job to ensure that the job has been completed by the other people. So that's the overall idea actually. So that's why your team plays a very important role. But one of the problem is, in most of the cases, you will not be able to develop your own team. You would be given a team. So whoever the team member, you have to complete the job with them only. Okay. So that is one of the issue. That is the challenges generally the managers are having. But definitely with the experiences, whenever you will be going into the senior position, then you will be having the opportunity to choose your team. That means you can hire your team members. So that's why in the hiring process, what is happening, the HR is going to take the initial round of interview, but the next 2-3 rounds interview will be taken by the respective managers, because they are supposed to take the they have to do the job. Okay. So that's the thing, that's the idea. Okay, any doubt anyone having as of now?
No, sir.
If this session got disconnected, please re-log in with the same link. Okay, the same link you can use. Just re-log in once more if it gets disconnected.
তো দেওয়াই আছে না আমার বাঙালি
त्रिदीप
Yes.
सर कहाँ गए?
हाँ,
सर कहाँ गए?
नहीं मालूम, शायद होंगे, शायद यहीं पे। कौन है ब्रो?
सर
अवतार
है,
क्या?
सर है, सर है, सर।
अब
हाँ, ठीक है।
जब तक तुम क्लास ले लो।
The basic idea of organizational behavior is understanding the behavior of the individual employees with whom we are going to work, and before that we need to understand the behavior of ourselves. I mean, how we are behaving. Like the, say for example, college, school is also an organization. You are studying there. The kind of behavior it is expected. Now, in a particular, if you are talking about this session, all of you, those who are attending as a student, in an organization, it is expected you will be behaving like a student. I am playing the role of a teacher, so I should be behaving like a teacher. That is the expectation in the organization. Now, the expectation varies from organization to organization. Now, if you are now after completing your MBA, you have joined a particular company. Now, there, if you are behaving like a student, probably that is not accepted. Because, say for example, if you are coming late in college, or say for example, if you are joining late in the class, in the online class, so being a teacher, I may be saying that why you are late, you should not be late, you should be disciplined. These things I can advise you. If you are late in the office, there would be a late mark. If there are 3 late marks, 1 CL or 1 leave will be deducted. If you are exhausted with the leave, one day salary will be deducted. If you are late consecutively, the company will be sending a warning letter why you are late. If you are till then continue coming late, you will be terminated. Simple. So in an in this case, what will happen in the college? You are late. Again, the teacher will be scolding you that why you are late. I'm not going to allow you in the class. If it is a physical classroom, I will not allow you to enter the classroom. If it is a digital classroom, I'll be removing you from this attendance. Everything. I mean, ultimately, the teacher will try to make you understand that you should be disciplined. But in corporate, what will happen? If you are not following the instruction, action would be taken, either termination or suspension, anything according to the company policy. Like, say, for example, generally in your college life, in your school life, probably you have also practiced that if you are, we have a tendency, I mean, the students are having the tendency to check the phone or the messages of their friends. When their friends are, chatting in WhatsApp or something, the other friend is trying to check that with whom he is chatting or she is chatting. If you are doing the same thing in the corporate, I mean, if you can see, definitely it's an open office system. You are sitting with your laptop, just beside you somebody else is sitting with their laptop. If you are checking the other member's screen, I mean laptop screen, if that member complains, the result is you can be terminated. Forget about any suspension or something. You can be terminated because it is breach in data privacy. He will be telling that the person who will be sitting just beside you, you will be telling my data has been stolen. My client data has been stolen. So what, you cannot do anything, because in the CCTV camera, it will be very clear that you are actually peeping into other computer screen, other person's computer screen. And if that person making a complaint, you may lose your job, right? Cracking jokes with the friends is very common among us, right? We used to do, crack jokes. But if you are cracking the jokes in the proper corporate houses, and somebody is making a complaint that it is against my religion, against my race, against my sentiment, the company has the authority to take action against you. So that means that is the kind of, why we are telling this example. This is the organizational behavior that is expected in the organization, and that varies from organization to organization. So we need to understand that. Like, say, for example, if you are working in a government organization, usually you have to call your senior as sir. That good morning, sir. Right? Everybody who is senior, you have to call them as sir. But if you are working in a corporate, the ideal, in the most of the cases, not all the organization, most of the cases, the ideal principle is you have to call everybody with their first name, irrespective of
Recording in progress.
of their designation. Maybe, say, for example, he is a senior manager and his name is Rahul. You have to call them, okay, good morning, Rahul. It is the principles you have to follow. But of course, you cannot follow these principles of calling everybody with their first name, irrespective of their designation, in the government organization or any bureaucratic organization. So whatever the organization will be joining, we need to understand their particular organizational behavior expectation, what you have to do, right? So generally, on every Friday, you are allowed to wear informal dresses, which include t-shirt. But in most of the companies, wearing a round neck t-shirt is banned, or you cannot wear a round neck t-shirt. You have to wear a collar t-shirt. So you need to understand, again, it's not in all the organizations. You need to understand wherever we'll be working, what is the organizational expectation, okay? What is the organizational expectation as far as the behavior is concerned, as far as the dress code is concerned, as far as the attendance is concerned, everything. Like, say, for example, there are many startup companies where attendance is not a very rigid procedure. You may come at any point of time, you may go at any point of time, and dress code is not also very strict rules that you have to wear a formal dress during your Monday to Thursday kind of routine. So not necessarily. It varies from organization to organization. So startup culture is like that your dress code is up to your choice. Your office timing is up to your choice. But again, you have to be ready to work 24/7. Right? Whenever there is a requirement, you have to work. You cannot say my office hours is 10 to 5. So for up to 5, I will be working. After 5, if there is an assignment, I am going to work on that assignment tomorrow. Probably in the startup culture, that is not going to happen. Right? So again, it varies from organization to organization. Again, probably you know that last year, Amazon have introduced a policy that during the weekends, nobody is going to reply to any of the official emails. Right? Weo have also introduced the same thing. During the off days, the employees are not supposed to answer official call or official email. But in most of the Indian organization, that is the basic principles that is being followed. You are expected to get a call in the weekend, like the Saturdays or the Sundays, in the official call. You may have to attend a meeting on Sunday. That is a possibility, and that has been increased in the working from home structure or the working from home principles in the different organizations. The people are complaining due to this working from home that people have to work much more hour extra than the normal working hours, right? And even they have to work in the weekend. So that is a possibility actually. I mean that may happen. So again, I'm telling that varies from organization to organization. That organizational culture and the organizational behavior expectation changes. So wherever we'll be joining, we need to understand what is their organizational behavior expectation, and we need to customize our behavior, or we need to adjust our behavior according. Right? So that's the idea. So we need to understand others' behavior. We need to understand our behavior as well. Right? So that is the fundamental basic idea of the organizational behavior. As of now, anyone having any question, any doubt? Yes. Right. No, again, I'm telling, it is all about your corporate policy. If your corporate policy is that this is the thing, you have to call them as with their first name. So you have to do that. So that's the idea. It may sound like, say, for example, I'm sharing my experiences. So one of my manager's name was actually, his name was DJ. I mean, Devo Jyoti. So we used to call them DJ. So initially, our tendency was to call DJ Da. আমরা বাঙালিরা যেরকম বলি সবাইকে রাহুল দা, গৌতম দা, সৌরভ দা, we used to tell that. So we used to call them DJ Da. So one of my another manager name was Shumona. So we used to call them Shumona D. So sometimes it create problem because our client was US client. So US client used to think that Shumona D is a separate person than Shumona, right? So that you need to understand. What is the culture? If the culture is that you have to call them with their first name, so you have to call them with their first name. So that's the idea actually, right? So that's why you are just studying, as you have rightly raised that issue. That's a point. It may be a bad gesture in some companies to call anybody with their first name, right? So it is not possible. I mean, you need to understand, even in the corporate also, there may be a structure where you have to call your senior as say for example as sir or ma'am. You have to call them. So you need to understand the culture. You need to understand the accordingly. Like it may happen, like say for example, if somebody is changing his job from a government organization to a corporate organization, in the government organization they are habituated with that particular behavior, that is everybody used to call them sir, and he is having a separate cabin, he is having a secretary, he is having a group D staff, and I mean there is a helping hand who is going to give everything. Like say for example, if I want a cup of tea, I'll be just pushing the bell and somebody will be coming and asking for my instruction. I'll be telling, okay, give me a cup of tea or give me a cup of coffee, and somebody will be taking that. Okay, but you cannot expect the same thing in the corporate, in the open office organizational structure, because you have to do everything of your own, right? If you want to have a coffee, go to the breakout zone, have your coffee and come back. That is the structure you will be having in the open office structure, whatever may be your designation. Okay, so you will not be having a separate cabin, there may be a separate cubicle. So in the open office system, actually you need to show through your performances who you are. There would be no designation would be written that okay, you are the manager, this is a cabin, so everybody will be understand he is a manager. No, you are sitting in the open office system in your desk, and somebody who is just sitting beside you who is an executive. So somebody, if a newcomer is coming, he will be able to understand who is a manager, who is an executive by your behavior only, not by your designation or by your cabinet. So it varies from organization. So that's why organizational behavior plays a very important role, right? I'm just giving another example. Who used to work as a teacher, school teacher in a primary school. He used to teach mathematics, but then he realized that he don't wanted to waste his life by teaching in a primary school kids. So he always wanted to get into corporate. So he completed his MBA and then joined a corporate organization as a trainer. So in the first day, he conducted a training with all the top level executives, and everybody appreciated his training. Everybody liked his training. But at the end of the training, the general manager of the company asked him, what is your earning today? So he told that, sir, I'm an employee, so I'm getting my salary. That's my earning. So the general manager told, no, I'm not talking about your earning. I'm talking about company's earning. Because there are 100 employees who are there who have attended the training. Do you know the average salary per day they are getting? Their average salary per day is 4,000 rupees. So understand that 4,000 into 100, that much money you have used today in the meeting, because they have not worked today, they are unproductive today, but they will be claiming that 4,000 rupees on an average for this day for attending your training program. So that much money you have spent it for your training program today. You just don't think about the training room expenditure or the AC expenditure or the electricity expenditure. No, that would be included. But apart from that, the 100 people who have attended your training program, calculate their today's salary. So that is the money you have spent it for this training program. Now tell me how much profitability you are going to increase for my company through your training program. So then actually he was telling me that, after taking a mathematics class for, this primary school kids, nobody have asked me that what is your earning. Okay. I used to teach, I used to come back to home, but here every penny matters. Every penny matters. You need to justify it, right? So that is the idea. So you need to understand this thing. So it varies from organization to organization. The expectation varies. The primary school level school teaching jobs expectation and a training manager job in corporate would be hell and heaven difference. Their expectation is totally different, right? Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Anybody was asking something? Okay. So that's the thing. So that's the importance of this organizational behavior. We need to adapt ourselves to the organization. Like say, for example, there is a concept of fast track career. Now, what is fast track career? Fast track career means there are two types of career path for the employees in the organization. Number one is the normal career path. You will be joining as a junior executive, then senior executive, then management trainee, then assistant manager, then senior manager, then assistant vice president, then vice president. So if you want to become an assistant vice president to the normal path, from junior executive to assistant vice president, it will take around 15 years to 16 years. But there is a fast track path. If you can perform well in many corporate houses, you can become an assistant vice president within just 4 to 5 years. It is possible actually through the process. But everything, whether you would be identified for the fast track career path or not, it totally depends on your behavior you will be showing. Nobody will be asking this question. I will be asking you. If you are giving a positive answer, I will be putting you in the fast track career path. Nobody will be asking you that. They will be judging you through your behaviors throughout the year, throughout the month. They will try to understand. Like say, for example, you are working for Monday to Friday. Suddenly, your manager will be asking, this Sunday, all of you have to come and we need to work. And because there are a lot of work, you need to come on Sunday. There would be people who would be telling, yes, we will be coming. There would be people who would be telling, sir, I'm having some work, please schedule. Ultimately, probably on Friday evening, the manager will be declaring that no, nobody has to come. That was actually a testing point that to understand your behavior. Are you willingly say that, yes, no problem, sir, I'll be coming on Sunday? Or you are trying to give some excuses. So then the manager will try to understand, right? Sometimes they will be telling that probably we need to work a little bit extra today. Nobody can go home by 6 p.m. today. Okay, we need to work until 9 p.m. So probably you don't have to work, but they are going to check that. Okay, so through the different process, sometimes you will be receiving call. Say for example, you have joined XYZ company. Suddenly, after joining, after 7 days or 10 days, you'll be receiving a call from ABC company. Okay, that I'm calling from the HR department of the ABC company. So I know that you are working with XYZ company, but we are going to offer you, minimum 20% or 30% salary hike. So would you be interested to join? Okay, so this call, in most of the cases, will be a call from the HR department of your company only to judge your mentality, your stability with the company, your loyalty with the company. That was not a call from the ABC company to give you a job offer. It was a call to check your loyalty, check your stability within the company. So of course, the company the company will be giving an opportunity to a person who is loyal to the company, who is stable for the company. Okay, so that's why this kind of test will be conducted in order to judge your productivity, your loyalty, your suitability, your stability in the organizations. Then probably this kind of offers will be given to you for a faster career option, right? So organizational behavior is very complex things, because whatever may be your functional area, it may be HR or a marketing or a finance or a system or a supply chain management, anything. You can become a supply chain manager or a finance manager or a marketing manager, anything. But being a manager, one of the key role would be to manage people. Okay, being a manager, you are not expected to do. Being a finance manager, you are not expected to do match the trial balance or the balance sheet or the check everything, all the financial technicalities, because there will be technical person, the CA or the BCom graduate or the Infom graduate will be there to do the technical things. Your job is to manage the thing. So managing the team, managing the thing means one of the major important area is this managing the people. So in order to manage the people, managing the organizational behavior is a very hectic job. So we'll be discussing that in details, that it is not the fact that if you are getting the best people of the city, best people of the country in your team, that does not mean that team would be very much successful. Because if all the successful people are there in the team, it has been identified there is a huge amount of ego problem among them, because everybody is thinking I am the best and my point should be raised or my point should be implemented. If everybody start thinking like that, definitely there will be a drastic failure, trust me. So that's why that sometimes very the people with some average skill set, average performance can do wonders together if that team can be managed properly. So managing the team is one of the key tasks of the managers actually. So that is why it is very important actually. So you need to understand. So in order to manage your team, you need to understand the mentality, understand the behavior, understand the personality of the each and every individual. And then based on that, you need to take actions accordingly, because you cannot satisfy everybody with a single strategy. Some people may be motivated by money. Some people may be motivated by recognition. Some people may be motivated by work location. Some people may be motivated by the working hours. So you need to understand there are some people who would be very happy if you can leave them little bit early. The office hours is 10 to 7 or 10 to 6. If you can leave them little early at 5:30, he will be the happiest person, in spite of the fact his salary is lesser, because he always wanted to reach home early. Probably he wanted to spend more time with their family. That's absolutely perfect. There are some people who are least bothered about their family. They are bothered mainly about the money. If you give them if you give them transfer to any location, they don't bother. They can go anywhere, but they need money. That's it. So you need to understand who wants what. Based on that, you need to motivate. You cannot expect that everybody will be motivated by money only. No, it is not that everybody is not going to be motivated by money. We need to understand what motivates an individual person. Is it family? Is it health? Is it working culture? Whatever. So we need to understand that, and based on that, we need to offer them that particular job profile, particular location, transfer, anything. So based on that, you need to motivate them. So in order to motivate them, you need to understand that their personality, their objective in life. Okay. Sometimes the designation plays a very important role for some people. Like say for example, in the sales profile, in the sales or the marketing job, the people has to travel a lot, right? Travel a lot. So usually sales and marketing people are having a heavier designations from the initial days than the other functional area. Like it is very easy to get a designation of marketing manager or a sales manager than to get a designation of HR manager or a finance manager. You have to join as a executive, finance executive, HR executive, then senior executive, then management trainee, then assistant manager. But for the sales profile, probably within 1 year, 2 years, even from the very beginning, also you can get a designation of sales manager, right? Because because the sales people require some extra level of motivation. Okay, extra level of motivation, because the sales or the marketing people are called commercial traveler. They have to, like, say for example, you are going to Delhi for a meeting and you are sitting in the airport, and suddenly you found one of your friend who is sitting in the airport, who is going for a vacation with his family, right? So probably at that point of time, you being a sales professional, you will be feeling a little bit of demotivated because your friend is going with his family and you are going alone for a business purposes only, right? So can you tell me how this happened for the sales people or the marketing people? So how this situation can be overcome? How you can motivate the sales people at that point of time? Are you understanding the situation?
Yes, sir. You provide
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
a spare ticket for his family as well. Indoor vacation.
No, I actually all the time you cannot keep that, because you have to go to Delhi from Kolkata thrice a week. It is not possible to take your family, because your family, either your spouse is working and your kids are studying, so it is not possible, right? To take your family all the time.
So by doing a family where like a family type things, means family get together in an office company, like they do the meeting also, and the family get together meeting is also going through the same thing, like
yes,
a party.
that's a very good point. Definitely there is a family day that is called. So sometimes you can conduct this kind of family day when the family members come to office. That is a possibility. I mean, that's a different method. But here in this situation, like you are in the airport, where you are meeting your friend, they are going for a vacation with their family, and you are going for a business meeting. So at this point of time, actually, the kind of extra facilities you are providing to this particular marketing person, that act as a motivator. Like, say for example, if you can provide a business class ticket, of course, whenever you will be discussing with his friend, that okay, fine, okay, what's your seat number? This, okay, fine, I can understand you are in economy class, right? So I am in the business class. Company provide me always. This is our company policy. They provide me business class. So this actually increases status in the society, and that increase the little bit of motivation that he is traveling by business class. Then probably he will be discussing with his friend that when you are putting up, in which hotel. So probably his friends, he's spending money from his pocket. Definitely he is not going to, in most of the cases, he is not going to stay in a 5-star category hotel. So he will be talking about in a 3-star category hotel, like that. So he will be talking, no, actually my that's a good hotel, but my company always provide me Taj Group of, we have a tie-up with Taj Group of hotels, so I have to put up in Taj Group. I don't like those kind of 5-star facilities, or the very posh culture, but you can understand, I'm representing a company like this, so I have to go to that Taj hotel facility only. So that's the thing. But definitely I would love to come to your hotel someday. So this is actually creating a status difference, okay, creating a motivation for him, okay, though he is a commercial traveler, that he is going for a business meeting, not for the personal vacation. But however, this kind of facilities, if that can be provided to the employee, that will increase his social status and thereby increase his level of motivation. So that is the reason for the sales or marketing people, the designations and the facilities are better in the initial days or their marketing profile, actually, so than the other domain. So that's for the social purpose. So that's the idea.
Yeah, but many companies are there who doesn't provide like business class or 5-star hotel in
that's what I'm
corporate
telling
or,
yeah, I can understand your question, that I can understand. It happens, that we are trying to study what should be the ideal scenario. Okay, so sometimes the companies are providing a better designation. The business card you are providing, okay, fine, I'm a regional manager, I'm a zonal manager, right? So this kind of designation plays a very important role. So it happens. varies from organization to organization. But some companies, if you are joining a good company, I mean a good corporate houses, so they are providing this kind of facility. So if you are joining a multinational company in the marketing department, so definitely you will be getting this kind of facilities, right? So again, it varies from company to company actually.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So any doubt anyone having as of now? Yes. I'm not able to understand. আমি কি বলছো বলো আরেকবার বুঝতে পারলাম। No. That is not. It's a hereditary. I mean, based on your family, it happens only in the family business, right? It happens only in the family business that if the CEO is retiring, somebody else is taking his position. But most of the good companies are doing a proper process. I mean, if he is eligible only through his competencies, then only that person needs to be given that particular position. But in case of the family business, that happens that when the father is retiring, automatically his son is becoming the CEO or the managing director of the company. It happens. But that is not fast track career. Fast track career means for the individual employee, based on their performances, if that person can be moved in the career path faster than the normal process, then it is called the fast track career actually.
Sir, you told earlier that.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Repeat. Repeat, please.
Now the question was, he was telling that if son is becoming the CEO after the retirement of his father, so that is not fast track. That is a family kind of thing, family business kind of thing, that after the retirement of the father, automatically the son is becoming the CEO of the company. So that is not the fast track. Fast track means when somebody is like us, I mean, you are joining a company as a management trainee and you are performing so well that within 5 years the company is promoting you as an assistant vice president. So that is called fast track career option.
Okay, sir. You told earlier that no official calls can be made in weekend off, which is declared by OYO and Amazon. Please say it again briefly.
I mean, again, I'm telling this is a company policy actually. That sometimes the company used to take up this policy. That last year, Amazon have declared that no, emails or the calls needs to be replied back during the weekend or during the after the office hours. If the office hours is over by after 5 p.m., so after 5 p.m. you don't have to return back to any call or the email. Or the OYO have declared last year that on the weekend, on the off days, the employees are not supposed to work actually. But it varies from organization to organization. If the company decides for doing that, but again, the opposite in many of the Indian companies or most of the Indian companies, the policy is totally different. That even if you are working hard in the weekend, Saturdays and Sundays, that means you are a good employee. If you are working after the office hours, that means after 6 p.m. you are working really hard. That means the management is thinking that you are working really well. So sometimes the employees are exploiting the situation as well, because the employees are not actually working throughout the day. They start working after 6 p.m. and up to 8 p.m. they are working. They are actually working for 2 to 3 hours only. But these people are getting recognized because of the fact they are working post office hours. When everybody is leaving, they are working. That means they are really good. So it happens. It varies from organization to organization. So definitely, but there are certain organizations who are punishing the employee who are working beyond their working hours. Like say, for example, your working hours is up to 5 p.m. and you are working up to 8 p.m. That means you are very much unproductive, inefficient employee, because the other people can complete the job within 5 p.m. and you have to work up to 8 p.m. to complete the job. So that means you are inefficient. Right. So that means it varies from company to company. I mean, what is their policy, right? So that's the thing. If you are working in any IT companies, in most of the companies, they have a policy. If you are coming on weekend, you have to actually take a permission from your manager that why you have to come on weekend to work. So you have to justify the reason, right? So that's the thing. Again, it varies from company to company.
Thank you, sir.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, can you tell us that at what designation, especially in IT sector, at what designation we can get after MBA, especially in IT sectors?
Again, it actually varies, but generally the IT sector usually take MBA graduates as analysts. The analyst, that depends on your specialization, your skill sets. Like it may be a finance analyst, it may be a HR analyst, or a marketing or general analyst, business analyst kind of thing. So, but for don't confuse with the business analytics specialization. Even if you are not taking business analytics as your specialization, you can get a job of an analyst because the company is going to they give you training for that. One of your senior who is actually an MBA in marketing, but presently he is the pass out in 2017, I guess. So he is presently working with TCS as a data analyst, right? So he get into that position as a analyst now gradually through different training, different experiences. He gradually moved into the analyst position. So it varies from organization to organization, but for the IT company, generally they give the designation as analyst.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, fine. Then let's call it a day. We'll be connecting in our next class. So we'll try to organize one probably industry interactive session maybe on Saturday. So let's see. We'll confirm accordingly.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Recording